Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. What is happening? Is everybody having a wonderful Thursday? Cristiano Ronaldo, it is time to talk about what are we going to do with this dude. I think it's getting to the point where Cristiano Ronaldo is being quite disrespectful to Manchester United. Listen, if Bayern Munich come in for you, all right, I can understand that. If Real Madrid came in for you, to be honest, even if Atletico come in for you, I know there's history and stuff there. I would really understand it. But now you're seeing George Mendes loaning the guy out to Napoli. That I don't understand. That feels disrespectful. That's just get me out no matter how you do it. And that I can't take. We've seen him disappear. He might have some family problems, and I'm inclined to just take them at face value and say, okay, that's fine. Doesn't excuse the rest of the things that's going on here with you desperately trying to get out of United. If it was purely about the Champions League, you could have alerted Manchester United to this in April or May when the season was drawing to a close, because it was obvious from that point that United weren't going to make it. He was clearly going to tarnish his legacy if he went to Atletico, but it looked like that was a realistic possibility at some point. There's a chance that he's upset the balance in the team last season. I thought his performances, by and large, were pretty positive in the grand scheme of things. Will, just check your phone a sec. Just check your phone. I just... Seeing the fact that he's now, I'll accept a 30% pay cut. I'll go anywhere but United. This is a guy that has left us before. Left us for a world record fee as the best player in the world. Went on to become an absolute legend of the game at Real Madrid. This at the moment now feels a bit like a piss take. And if United don't manage to get a striker and he's literally leaving us with one option as a striker. Alan in the comments saying he's ruining his legacy. Absolutely shocking. A couple of people talking about Šeško. Right, well, you guys are in for a treat because I have done an absolute wizard of a job on a scout report for Šeško, so make sure to check out for that one. Sean says, you've got another stream set up for Šeško. Are you a wizard? That can be in Drozdon and Clayton at the same time. What are you on about? What are you talking about? Tom says, if Ronnie's situation, would the likes of Cantona stay or leave, CR7 would launch the next decade of success. But would any other great United 7 stay? Cantona joined us without European football. Jay says, get Šeško and let the old man go and fail at another Champions League club. Is that the opinion of most United fans at the moment? For me, I think I said towards the end of last season, I'm not going to call it a mistake bringing him back. I don't know where we would have been without his goals. But I think it would have been time to say, okay, thank you very much. We as a club need a fresh start. We need to move in a different direction. And that means as good as Ronaldo has been, as possibly good an influence as he could have been, rumours that he might not have been, but there's certainly could have been, then I think it would have been time that United move him on. Move him on and go and invest into somebody else. Roy says, fulfill your contract to the club that made you who you are today. Shameful behaviour, or buy your contract out in full and walk away to sell some more underpants. R4S says, his mind is no more with United. Instead of being a stumbling block to the team, let go. He is unpatriotic. So Jimmy says, if he ends up staying, do I think Ten Hag should bench him in favour of Marshall? That's a massive, massive question, isn't it? And what's the realities of that? I really couldn't tell you what the realities of that are. Ten Hag has said, I will pick based on form and not reputation or politics or wages. But you know what? I don't think any manager comes into any job and goes, I'll tell you this, I will pick who the board tell me to pick. Every single manager is going to walk in there and go, I'll pick my own team. And sometimes there's rumours that Paul Scholes walked away at Oldham because he was getting told what team to pick. I know of managers that have left because they was getting told what team to pick. I know a manager that did that. Low level, but still. I know it happens. I am certain there has been pressure to play certain players at United, whether that would have been Pogba or Zlatan or Rooney at times, or Ronaldo maybe last season. Maybe Harry Maguire at points last season. I think at some point you have someone from the board. It doesn't necessarily have to be as directors pick him in your team. It can be a case of, why are we paying him 200 grand a week to sit on your bench? That's the sort of thing. It's that sort of thing. So I think Ten Hag would love to be able to say, do you know what? Nah, Cristiano, take a fucking seat. You do what you're told, you play to my rules, or you don't fucking play. Every manager would love to hear that adhered to. Cristiano Ronaldo, unfortunately, is the kind of cat that gets his own way. And that might be reason enough to let him go. I think that's what I'd be willing to do. If I was Ten Hag, I could see him being problematic because you couldn't drop him. Not necessarily because he's done anything currently, that he's done anything in the past, aside from not turning up for pre-season training, and as we've already covered, there might be some legit reasons for that. If you envisage this kid's going to be a problem for us, get me out of here. Get him out of here. Brian says, regardless of the personal situation, he needs to go. He will not fit into the new system. Ten Hag is building a squad to compete for the next 10 years plus. Valid. Sai says, we weren't bringing him in to set examples for the youngsters. Hardly the best example to set. Valid. Joe says, stay or go, don't care, but get a replacement in first. Agree with that one. Throw Badilia. Ronaldo in some way must go and bring back Greenwood. That's a controversial take. Listen, not going to talk about anything on Greenwood, and please stop asking for any updates. Like I said, you're not going to be able to move. When there's legitimate updates on Mason Greenwood, you're going to know. You're just going to know. It's going to be everywhere. People are going to make content about it for fucking weeks. You're not going to be able to miss it. Chris says, Ten Hag has the perfect response. Why are we playing him? Why are we paying him X? And it's because the idiots that used to run the place paid him that. Good point. Christian said, I would want him to stay. That's the first one of those I've seen today. Is anyone else? Right, okay, you lot spam the comments now. Stay or go. And let's see what you guys think. I don't know if I can throw a poll in midway through. If I can throw a poll in midway through, I will do. United said, maybe a zombie says, just want the Glazers gone. I think we all want that. AEG says, seems to be showing Ronaldo Jr. the wrong way of behaving. Superstars do get treated different. Even Fergie did it. Even Fergie treated superstars different. Now, I don't know if I've said this on a video before, but I do think this. With Ronaldo Jr., one club is going to debut that young man, right? One club is going to debut that guy. So if one club's going to debut him, who or how much do you think that contract is worth? If he's a fraction as good as his dad, you're talking 70 million plus immediately. If he's got some level of world-class potential in him, you're talking 100 million. If he's as good as his dad, which is unlikely, but I guess eventually someone's going to have to be as good and surpass him, then he's going to be somewhere in the region of a 250 million pound player. I think if you are a club and you're in a position to get Cristiano Ronaldo, it's a 2-for-1 deal. Yes, you're getting a 37, 38-year-old striker that's probably still going to do a job for you. His wages are going to be fucking mental, no doubt about it. But the transfer fee will be negligible. It'll be 20 million in that ballpark. The wages are going to do you in. However, are you buying a future £100 million asset by getting Cristiano Jr. signed up? That is the level that some club needs to think strategically, because someone's going to hit it where that guy is 16 on his way to 17. He's in the right level for debuting, and if he is, you have got a genuinely sellable asset, genuinely big sellable asset. Snyder Remarks Podcast, what a name, has dropped in a super chat saying, I only want him to stay because there's no replacement. We still need another backup winger, even if we do get a striker as well. Still have some hope for Jonathan David. Interesting. Ricky Spanish says, is it the same with Kai Rooney? I'm not sure, to be honest. There's some people that think Kai's better, some people that think Ronaldo Jr. is better. It'd be amazing if they both had careers that was even like top flight professional, because top flight professional is still better than anybody you or I know growing up, right? Growing up. Fucking hell, can't speak. Not being quite as good as your dad if you're the son of Cristiano Ronaldo or Wayne Rooney means, oh, so you was only a top 10 player in the world at some point. Do you know what I mean? Like, the bar is impossibly high. It's like being Jordi Cruyff. Jordi Cruyff played for Barcelona and Manchester United in his career. Was part of the treble-winning team. Does that mean that he's not a good footballer because he never managed to hit the heights of his dad? No. It doesn't really, does it? He could easily be a legitimate footballer that actually does bits. Whether or not they get to be the heights of their... I mean, can you imagine they do, though? Can you imagine Rooney's son and Ronaldo's son are just as good as their dads were? Fucking hell. Gary Beatty says he's still prolific and a club legend. He should stay. Paul Macon says, whatever, just make a bloody decision and let's get on with it. Interesting. Manny says, why aren't United chasing Andrea Bellotti? Don't know. Suf says, genuinely, he's as good as dead to me. Wow. Didn't trust him the first time he signed, and I was proven very much correct. Super chat here from Jerome says, any player that has reservations about staying should go. Don't need all that hanging over the club all season. Like I said back in January, if you don't want to be here, fuck off. Simple. It's literally as simple as that. If you don't want to be here, fucking get out. With Ronaldo, I don't think it could be any clearer. Leave. Harry says, Callum Best. He grew up in Los Angeles, though, didn't he? I don't think he grew up playing football. Jed says, if he goes, it can't be for free. Either get a fee or have him buy the contract out. Alex says, has anyone else realised the wheels fell off United when CR7 rejoined us? Okay, but they also fell off when Sancho joined or when Varane joined. Like, I don't think it would be fair to pin it all on Ronaldo. Now, maybe there's a case that some players couldn't handle having Cristiano Ronaldo in the dressing room. Maybe Bruno's one of those. Maybe Bruno hero worshipped him to the point where he couldn't work alongside him. Whereas prior to Ronaldo coming, Bruno was a big fish in that dressing room. He probably was listened to by everyone else in the team. Maybe Bruno's impact was lessened by the arrival of Ronaldo. And this is all theoretical. I have no evidence to any of this. I'm just suggesting it. So that might be valid. But what's the rumours you hear of Cristiano Ronaldo? Oh, he fucking looks after himself and he's got a really strict diet. Okay, that's a negative how? Aram says, not much of a problem with him wanting to leave, but the disruptions it's causing to our transfer windows, what's annoying me, get it done. I agree on that. Stockton says, I worry more about going into another season with McFred than Ronaldo staying or going. I think we're going to get De Jong. I just think it's messy as fuck. Bruno needs to leave too, says Big Wengs. Steve says, can we talk about alternatives to De Jong and Anthony? Don't see us linked at all. like someone said at The Athletic the other day, there is no plan B. Red Lad says, system is more important than a legend. I agree with that one. Hostad says, they fell off when we didn't have a plan. Hindsight's great, but we also had no plan. It feels like we don't have one. I just trust Ten Hag more. Mr. Liam Rogers says, hope you and the family are good. Everyone's all right. In fact, they're pretty much all here today. School holidays, isn't it? So Blake's just on an iPad, literally behind that wall. Kai Rooney up front next season. Well, if he's as big as his dad, he'll be 16 making his debut, won't he? Ryan says, I got more chance of winning silverware with us than Napoli, in my opinion. We're favourites for Europa. Well, it is something he's not won. Nave says, linked with City, so we had to buy him. Not surprised with the drama, pure EastEnders vibes. The Manchester City thing was real. But from my understanding of the situation, and the reason why certain people got involved with the situation was because that was the only offer presented to him. United hadn't made a bid. And when they did, it was very straightforward. I think that was Mendes up to something, and I don't know why. I still haven't figured out why Mendes would tell him that United weren't willing to pay. So here's what I think happened, right? Or I was told was happening. Mendes had told Ronaldo United wouldn't pay either his wages or the fee, one of the two. Right? I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. And Manchester City were the only people in for him. So then he phones up somebody and asks them to ask why United aren't interested in him, which he does. That person is then told that United didn't know he was available, and therefore shows you that Mendes had made up the whole United weren't willing to pay it. They didn't know he was available. He hadn't made contact with them. So in my mind, that's Mendes not doing his job. And I still don't know why he would carve it out like that in the way that he did to Ronaldo. So the Manchester City links, I think City would have took him. And they probably would have won the fucking lot with him, in all honesty. But why did Mendes want him to go to City? That's what I can't work out. That's the bit to me that baffles me a little bit. I just can't quite fucking figure it out, man. Shindo says, please talk about Ronaldo. Fuck you on about? What I've been doing? Luke says, stay because I don't trust the board to replace him. We have no depth. Cavani gone as well. Lucky Singh says, personally bored of Manchester take too long on issues. Andrew says, Frankie de Jong will come near the end of the window because Barcelona can't afford to register Lewandowski and Rafinha in the league at the moment. Yeah, I think it'll get resolved. We've got skin in the game, obviously, because we want a player and we want to get him with us and we want to get him into the squad. But Barcelona have got so much skin in the game because all these players they've just signed can't register any of them until they get rid of Frankie de Jong. So they will resolve this. JK says, probably wanted him to go to City to avoid what's happened right now. Possible. Kamikaze says, Mendes wanted him to go and win the lot rather than come back to United. Agents don't care about loyalty. Probably that. Andrew Young says, strawberry milk is nice. You want the share price to drop, so maybe the Glazers will jog on. I don't know if they're that asked about that, in all honesty. Purple Butterfly, probably a bigger commission for Mendes with City. Could be that. 20 Legend says, I'd rather play youth than Ronaldo. And Yash says, Ronaldo in a bubble. He isn't the player he used to be. No big club want him. Wake up. Someone said this, and it might have been Ronaldo, saying if he ends up starting the season for us, it isn't because he wants to be here. It's literally because nobody else wanted him. And that's not a good position for him or us to be in, is it? Bob Bates says, can't believe Spurs got Spence for 12 plus 8 if they win a trophy. They got him for 12 million. That's mega, innit? Aram says, can I believe Marshall is our only striker at the moment? No, it's a poor place for us to be in, innit? Like I said, I have got another video coming out later today. Make sure to go and check that out. It is about Šeško, and I think you want to watch it. Do you know how much George Mendes... Do you know much about George Mendes? How does he compare to Raiola? He always seems to be a bit classier than Raiola. But look at some of the clientele he's got. They've all moved, and they've all moved frequently. So who's to say he's any better or worse? Dale says, on the subject of Ronaldo, how long was Ronnie missing in Yorkshire for? Honestly, the boys are fucking dreaming of delight. We're doing something wicked next week. We are sending Ronaldo to go and do a football transfer medical. So we're going to be able to film the full ins and outs of what a football transfer medical is for you guys. And we're obviously sending Boy Wonder to go and do that. So that should be a good fun episode of the XG Files that we're doing. And then pretty soon after that, we are going to take him to the aquarium. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. Sadiq says, what if Frankie goes to Chelsea? Oh, we're in the shit. And they've signed another midfielder better than us. Brian Casey says, Martinez saying all the right things in an interview, reckon he'll be a better signing than Bruno. Wow, that's a hell of a claim. MMA says, doesn't matter if he wants to be here. It's one of the last seasons of his career. He's going to try regardless. This is true. It's just how much of a petulant fucking wiener is he at the same time. Hostad says, thought he was going to say he's off to see the fishes. Can they cancel a contract by mutual consent? Yes, but you have to pay up for that. And it's a bit of a game of poker. And if he comes to you and says, I want out of my contract, that's not going to cost you much, if anything. And if you go to him and say, we want you out of the contract, that's going to cost you, maybe all the remainder of the rest of the contract. So who knows? Deshan says, make him an example. He should see out his contract as the professional everyone knows him to be. Then he can leave. Anyone who thinks they're bigger than United should leave. He definitely thinks he's bigger than United, and that's the problem, ultimately. Yeah. We are getting close to that comment where he made when he said he was a slave here, aren't we? That's how close we're getting, unfortunately. We're about ready to see that again. And his actions tell me the exact same thing that they told me back then. So as I said, we have got a video coming out later today about Šeško. Definitely check that out. If you've not, then go and check out, probably in about an hour, we'll be uploading the highlights from this weekend's game against Ramsbottom if you want to see how Stretford Paddock got on in our final pre-season game. It's been a little bit topsy-turvy with fixtures, but if you'd like to come and watch us, we are playing at Holmes Chapel on Saturday. Then we've got a game on Wednesday. They've just moved that one on us from Tuesday. Our league campaign starts this week and we're just going for wins. That's all we want to see. Wins, wins, wins. If you'd like to get in the mix with any of those, then go over and check out Paddock FC video. And that's it, really. Make sure to subscribe. Check out that Šeško video. Go check out the highlights from our Ramsbottom game at the weekend. And I'll see you in the next one. Laters.